All right, wearing the same clothing as the last video because I'm recording them back to back and drinking, mainly because this story is ridiculous and it's kind of it's like a spiritual successor to some of the other things we've talked about in the past, such as my stop using your children to sell your shitty things, the MLM people are crazy video, and the ongoing cycle of the idiot brothers and their stupid ass chiropractor claiming that you can cure cancer. So it's not specifically related to this chiropractor, but this is a very, very tragic story. And it is something that we are going to hear more and more about when stuff like this is encouraged and it is allowed, and that people just every day wake up thinking, you know what? Modern medicine is fallible and it's not as perfect as I was raised to believe. But instead of just, trusting people who have spent years and years of their lives dedicating themselves to the research and implementation of this medicine, I'm gonna go to a person who has absolutely no medical training, but says that this thing that smells nice can cure my child of all of their diseases. Every day, new people wake up being like, you know what? No, instead of medicine, essential oils. Instead of medicine, chiropractors. And that brings us to this incredibly, incredibly tragic story where a teen who suffered from diabetes, type 1 diabetes, dies after he was prescribed lavender oil, an essential oil, instead of insulin. Now, luckily, the herbalist is going to prison, but I think it's only for 4 months. So I'll have a look here at this story, but I'm actually really upset. And the light tone to my voice is how I'm protecting my delicate sleep-deprived psyche from losing my mind over this, because it's happening more and more. I see all these stupid-ass MLM posts where people being like, Sasha's been having some stomach problems lately, so I've just been, whipping in some doTERRA morning essential oil into her yogurt. The stuff that was supposed to go in a diffuser for me to smell, or the stuff that goes into industrial cleaning agents because, it helps disinfect things. I'm just gonna mix that into some yogurt because that seems like a good idea and feed it to my child because I'm a good parent. Except I'm not. In 2014, Timothy Morrow, a self-proclaimed master herbalist based in Torrance, California, attempted to treat Edgar Lopez for his type 1 diabetes. He told the boy's parents that the insulin that the doctor had prescribed was poison, and instead of using the tried and true insulin that, diabetics have relied on for as long as we have had the ability to treat diabetes, but instead to rub lavender oil on his spine. And then not only said that would treat him, but would cure him. He would no longer have type 1 diabetes. Now, there's been an added editor's note here, so I guess originally they had said that he was a naturopath, which, a lot of people do go to school to be naturopaths. But you know what? If you have diabetes, you need insulin. We have not yet got to a point where something else can cure diabetes. And if we do, it sure as hell is not going to be rubbing lavender oil on your spine. Like, when I first saw this story, I assumed that they were telling him to, consume essential oils, which is not safe and can kill you and can be toxic. And please be careful with them around your pets, because a lot of these things are extremely toxic and deadly to your animals, particularly your cats. And I'm even talking about them in the diffusers for scents. Be incredibly careful with essential oils. Do not buy anything from Young Living. Do not buy anything from doTERRA. If you really want scented things for your home, just go to Walmart and buy the cheapest essential oils. Go to Bulk Barn. I don't know what you guys else have in the States. Just go buy the cheapest fucking essential oils. Don't go spend $30 for something this big. Anyways, continuing on. So this guy did not even go to the extent of becoming a naturopath. He's an herbalist. You know who else they call herbalists? Probably the people who work at David's Tea, because it's like people at Subway are sandwich artists, so the people who are mixing your herbal teas are herbalists. And you know what? They probably do a better job than you. Anyways, the medical examiner determined that the child that passed away would have lived had he received proper medical treatment. No shit, because other than diabetes, he looked like a perfectly healthy teenage boy. So last week, this 84-year-old quack was found guilty on one count of practicing medicine without a license, because again, Not only are you going to someone who is not a trained medical doctor, you are going to someone who is falsely claiming that he's licensed to cure things that he has no business touching. Wow, that reminds me of someone.
Because he knows every single answer to the sickness. He knows a cure to cancer. He knows a cure to liver disease. He knows a cure to kidney disease. He knows a cure to everything.
Idiots. So Morrow pleaded no contest to 1 count of child abuse likely to produce great bodily injury or death. No, fuck you. You did. That's exactly what you did. So he's been sentenced to 120 days in jail and 48 months of summary probation, which is, you know what? That is simply not enough. That is not enough. This man knowingly recommended somebody with an illness that would kill you if you did not treat it properly. This isn't like somebody who's getting like migraine headaches, which are debilitating in and of themselves. And depending on how bad your migraines get, that literally, migraines can ruin your life. They can prevent you from working, all sorts of stuff. But for the most part, unless there's an underlying issue, a migraine's not gonna kill you. So if you've just exhausted all your other options, you feel like nothing's helping, you go to a naturopath or like a chiropractor to see if maybe you're getting some like adjustments for your back pain or your neck tension or just to have, you know, nicer scents in the house. It's not gonna work, but it's not gonna kill you. Somebody with diabetes is going to die without appropriate access to medical treatment and medicine like insulin. So in my opinion, 120, maybe it's because he's 84. They probably went easy on him because he's literally of the age that he could die. But you know what? I don't care. It's not enough. So the mother said she had previously attended Morrow's seminars about herbs and alternative medicines, and that's what gave her the idea that this would be a viable alternative to the tried and true insulin. And during the testimony, she even said that she, at the time, regarded Morrow as a god and trusted him to treat her son. So while I do blame her extensively, it's disgusting to me that we live in a world where people can talk themselves up in such a disgusting way that makes people believe that their quackery and BS is accurate medical advice. And although she went to regular doctors for an annual examination and had given Edgar insulin for his diabetes, over time she stopped and Morrow began to push the herbal products. So around the age of 13 is when they started doing more of the herbal treatments, and no shock, the boy Edgar began to fall ill. But instead of Morrow kind of being like, wow, this is probably a bad idea, maybe you should get him back on some insulin, he said, no. The pain and the weight loss are not symptoms of the illness, they're symptoms of him kicking the modern medicine out of his system. And once he rebounds, he'll be completely cured. And this is something that modern medicine just can't offer you. It's like, you're right, yes. Him taking his insulin as prescribed would not have resulted in his death. So, and I guess that he even assured her that her son's life was not at risk. So ultimately he became very sick as a result of the complications from his type 1 diabetes. He wasn't eating, his eyes became fixed in place, his skin was cold, and he was barely breathing. So instead of being like, let's take him to a hospital, they just called Morrow to the house for him to do a house call. And then again, even still, shortly before he died, Morrow specifically told the parents not to give him insulin and instead keep giving him the herbs. This was a concentrated effort resulting in this boy's death, and this man only got 120 days in prison. Are you kidding me? There's people who've smoked weed that are doing more time in prison right now. This is disgusting. Now, obviously, the defense said that Morrow never claimed to be a doctor and blamed the mom. I say they're both to blame, but to try to say that your client is not culpable is disgusting. I get that that's your job, but screw you. And I guess the prosecutors really managed to sink this home by finding some videos on YouTube where Morrow, said that tumors were a gift from God. They're your friends.
A tumor is your friend, it's your ally, it's your buddy.
This man is insane. And as of right now, that man's YouTube channel is still live. Now, I will say that YouTube has made some good strides lately when it comes to alternative medicines, naturopaths, and anti-vaxxers. That content is now no longer eligible for monetization on YouTube. If you see ads on them, you can request that they be reviewed and potentially have the ads removed from that. This is also mainly because advertisers were very upset that their ads were being played on videos of people telling parents not to get their children vaccinated while we are currently dealing with a worldwide measles outbreak for the first time in I don't know how long. I remember when I was a kid, measles got mentioned and no one could give me a concrete example of it because nobody had it. Nobody around me got it. But now, measles everywhere. There's people dying of measles in 2019. We have literally got to the point that we are advanced in so many different ways that people forget how terrible things were when people were dying left of right from things that you can vaccinate against. This is disgusting. So yeah, please do not fall victim to anybody who tells you that essential oils can cure ailments, cure diseases, cure sicknesses, cure grief, cure anything except, hey, this smells nice. And because people have told you over the years that it's relaxing, it'll likely have a calming effect on you, as we found with things like lavender. Don't believe them. Run away. Call them idiots. Tell them to stop wasting their money. Tell them to stop trying to get other people to waste their money. This is disgusting, and the fact that there are so many people out there now who believe that things like essential oils can cure all of your problems and all of your life woes and every illness you've ever had is disturbingly shocking to me, and I don't know what to do about it other than being incredulously bothered by it on a YouTube channel. Now, in slightly better news, I will say that the man who made a hoax call in the deadly Kansas police shooting, so this guy, you know, the guy who was doing these SWAT calls and then they went to a different house based on a $1 wager between two guys, and this guy had also called in all the bomb threats to the event I was at in Dallas. He's facing 20 years. So at least this guy who got someone killed is facing some prison time. Yeah. Anyways, that's gonna about do it for today's video. Let me know what you guys are thinking in the comments section down below. Please don't fall for MLM schemes. This has been my TED Talk. Thank you all so much for watching. Catch you all later.